Joe Biden's private email alias discovered in Hunter's emails. No, they weren't. This has been a known quantity for a very long time. As a matter of fact, they knew about the other side of this email. Hunter's email wasn't a mystery. And they knew he was CC'd back when Biden was vice president in regard to this period. Okay. They also knew, and Kent, that's why Kent was saying, I think it can look funky. And they're like, we're not doing anything. Doesn't matter. We're talking about the optics. Okay, here we go. And that is, by the way, Kent and others had an eye towards Biden running at the end of Obama's term. And so because of the death of Beau and because of Hillary Clinton and not wanting to compete with the first woman running and make it a big case out of it, Biden didn't run. But let's here. This is the same.
Japan's prime minister and South Korea's president today at Camp David.
But all eyes remain on his son Hunter Biden after a federal judge yesterday dismissed his.
Hold on 1 second. Wait 1 second. I'm sure Can't Stop Lying just got the same warning on his phone that I did. Flash flood warning in effect for the area till 7 o'clock tonight. Do not try to outrun water under a bridge in Vegas. The water has nowhere to go. Okay. Yeah. Mark just got it too. Yeah. And the thunder happened right when it came. I was like, what the fuck? My Apple Watch just went like at the same time the lightning struck. I'm like, okay, simmer down. It's this, I don't mind you creating weather, just, and coordinating with HARP. Just don't make it so obvious. All right. Higher ground. That's right. All right. So here we go.
Misdemeanor tax charges, and Republicans work to uncover Biden's alleged involvement in Hunter's overseas business dealings, who he has spoken of many times with our next correspondent.
And Peter Doocy is live from the.
Yeah. I'm going to bet that Peter's is going to be kind of disappointed in where this story is going. Judge drops Hunter Biden misdemeanor tax charges. Ouch. So basically we just got the gun charge left. Is that where we are?
White House. Hey, Peter. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. President Biden is waking up at Camp David today. He is going to have a limited press availability later on with the leaders of Japan and South Korea. And maybe somebody out in the crowd will ask about the latest lawsuit. It was filed against the CIA by Judicial Watch. They want records that are going to help figure out how they quickly at the CIA cleared that now infamous letter signed by 50-plus intel officials who all insisted Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation, something that we now know is not true.
Yes, it is true. Yeah. And by the way, I think I'm off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure the letter has all the marks of Russian disinformation. But it is. This is a concocted hard drive. It's bullshit. The backstory is nonsense. The fact that files were added after John Paul McIsaac gave them to Rudy Giuliani, and the fact that Rudy bought that hard drive in Ukraine from Russians, during in 2019 because Trump was so afraid of running against Joe Biden. Yeah, it is. They're not wrong. And by the way, Judicial Watch's case against the CIA isn't going fucking anywhere. Biden didn't wake up this morning hearing about fucking Tom Fitton suing the CIA. Get the fuck out of here.
And something that a majority of voters think shows laws being broken. The new Fox poll says 50% think Hunter's business dealings were illegal. 36%.
Something illegal. I don't know what it is. When it comes to his foreign business dealings, what did Hunter Biden do? Something illegal. This is perfect. This is a perfect Fox poll. Something illegal. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. No. That sounds exactly like a fucking Fox poll. Something, I don't know, something illegal. He did something. Something unethical. Nothing seriously wrong. So few Fox viewers believe that. I don't know why. It's almost as if they just browbeat people with bullshit. There's hold on, someone was calling out for
I like wood.
I know.
Deeper and longer.
That's right. I saw the
I like wood
in the chat, so I'm just yeah, where's Lev Parnas at? Lev Parnas has it has a Midas Touch vlog. He's writing a book, so he's doing he's taking a walk down memory lane occasionally. His videos are pretty good if you want to check them out. So I think he did something illegal. Maybe, I don't know, get fucking specific. This is how bad it is. All right. This is how, like, Fox viewers are asked, when it comes to his foreign business dealings, what did Hunter Biden do? Hunter Biden do? Was one of the answers, he was an investment banker and a lawyer for Burisma and a couple of like LLCs that had business with Chinese energy company or Ukrainian energy company or fucking Peter Thiel's Biogen, whatever. Was that on the list? I don't think so. Something bad, something good, nothing good, something bad.
Say unethical. And we are still learning a lot about how then Vice President Biden's office operated. As the House Oversight Committee says, they found Joe Biden's private...
What an interesting hedge, Peter. The House Oversight Committee says they found
email alias Robert L. Peters.
I believe that one reason that...
I believe... That's what you're looking for. I agree with Mike Pillow. I'm sick of this evidence bullshit.
Hunter was CC'd on those emails where Joe Biden was using a fake name is so Hunter could prove to the Ukrainian oligarch, look, help is on the way. Who do you think?
Well, that didn't happen to be the case. Poroshenko lost the next election. Honestly, how'd he get help?
Think they were referring to when they were talking to Hunter Biden, who they've said was dumber than their dogs, who was a drug addict, who had no experience.
That's Zlochevsky, who is a person you believe to be completely corrupt and who has fled the country. I'm sorry if Hunter Biden does not have the enthusiastic support and is held in the highest of esteems by a dude who had to flee his own country.
We need help from Washington. Who do you think they were talking about?
Lobbying firms.
But a lot of this was litigated more than a decade ago. The Obama-Biden spokesman publicly explained at the time that aliases are commonplace, and he explained why.
If they are inundated in one account with either public emails or spam or the like, that they can continue to use their other account for normal work.
If somebody uses an email alias like then Vice President Biden apparently did, those emails are still subject to FOIA. So if he was trying to hide something, he would essentially be hiding it in plain sight.
Now, we all know Rob Shit's an idiot. And tonight, after we've watched the video of him not recognizing that he was using an email where a family was coordinating getting together for a memorial service for a dead one of the family members who had died the year previous. But on top of that, I mean, can we just stick a fucking pin in this shit? That's the end of this. Let's see if he's got a turnaround, or they try to salvage this bullshit.
At least in this case.
At least in this case.
Right, and the way I read the story, Peter, it was also a federal government agency website, so it's not like he, was doing anything off the books. But don't a lot of people in D.C. do this?
Yeah, as I understand it, just about everybody's boss in D.C., all the elected officials have some version of this. And there.
You know what? I find amazing. I guarantee that Rob Schmidt, when he's coordinating guests on his show, whether it's MTG or Comer or any of these fuckers, either staff or that person in particular has an email or another phone number that they use to coordinate their personal shit outside of office or related to their office duties. And they probably have one for each. And he's gotten those emails. I guarantee in Rob Schmidt's phone, there is at least one, alias email from a Republican GOP House member, more than likely, that he talks to all the fucking time. That's not Jim Jordan at Look the Other Way While People Get Raped OSU.org or .edu.
Is a wide range when it comes to alias stories. It's this is not like a private account outside a server where your name is Carlos Danger.
Yeah, good point.
Which was around the same time as this. They have very plain names that nobody would think to pick out if they got like an email directory of a whole office.
Well, Peter, why did it take this oversight committee 8 months to figure out kind of a no-brainer?
That's a great question. They say that they will.
You're assuming they have.
Explain it as they get the info. So we'll wait for that.
One other thing, Peter, we've.
Oh, you mean the archived, FOIA available, out in the open, completely legit info? My question is, and I think a lot of people's question is, the fuck was in Carter Page's briefcase when he flew to Russia? What was in his briefcase when he met Sergei Lavrov at the Trump rally? When there were some Russians backstage at the Trump rallies that he went to in 2016, what was he carrying? What did he hand them? What was in the envelope he handed them? Now, I obviously, at that point, Donald Trump is not an elected official. He's the nominee for the Republican Party, but he is not the president of the United States. So I guess his staff and everybody around him can hand out all the hanky shit they want, make all the under-the-table promises they want, and as long as they don't carry him out with a promise of money directly, and there's some way to tie it on paper or otherwise to him, he can just skate on it and pretend he's as clean as the day is long.
Asked you a million times where Hunter Biden lives, because it looks like he lives there, and the Washington Post came out with something overnight.
Yeah, they had an item that after the plea deal that just fell apart was initially announced, Hunter Biden, his wife, and their son came and stayed at the White House for about 2 weeks. And the Washington Post is also reporting overnight that the day the deal was falling apart, Biden aides built a bunch of time into his schedule so that he could keep track of what was going on in Wilmington. They also, apparently, according to this report, made a conscious effort to keep President Biden away from the press. They did not want him exposed at all at any kind of an event that whole day because they didn't want him reacting to something before they had time. And he still has not reacted to the appointment of a special counsel.
Really? He hasn't called the person a scumbag and threatened their life and doxed them and put a picture of their wife up and said, this person donated money to Donald Trump, and I've seen people walk by their house wearing red hats and they didn't shoot at them, so they must be on the take. He hasn't done any of that. He's just not said anything. Fascinating. I don't know what kind of governing this is. It's so unfamiliar.
Or the elevation of David Weiss as a special counsel to look into his son's allegations of his son's wrongdoing.
Yeah, and they also say they are glad they kept his schedule open that day. It was on July 26th because the plea deal collapsed, prolonging Hunter's legal issues. They said there was particular concern in the West Wing that day because First Lady Jill Biden was traveling out of the country, leaving the president without his primary source of support.
And Peter, you...
Yeah. And God knows that wasn't a problem in the Trump White House because he had 4 or 5 Melanias to choose from.
So the White House made a concerted effort to keep him away from the press. And then when you came back from maternity leave a week ago, he sees you, he waves you over, and you had to jump over a bike rack. And I would imagine the White House is going, what is happening? We're trying to keep those guys away from him.
And that's so strange. He didn't call him over and say you're the enemy of the people and tell everybody your fucking P.O. box. What a strange thing. So let me get this straight. On the one hand, you've got Donald Trump, who accuses anybody who asks him a question that's even just kind of baseline reality based as a nasty person. And Biden, who literally waves Doocy over. And when he's asked the question, by the way, even when he slams Doocy, he called him a dumb son of a bitch at one point, but that was under his breath. But the part where he goes, and I think he brings him over more because he feels bad about that, it seems like. But like, I knew that you'd ask a lousy question, which is the thing that he brought up. He didn't say, I knew you're a lousy reporter. He criticized the question.
Well, it's their whole job to control the message, but sometimes he wants to get the word out. So that's good.
He's the
that's why we
president.
come.
When he says, no, I want to talk to Peter Doocy, they have to let him.
Because I need to tell somebody they've got a lousy question.
Well, no, he didn't know you had a lousy question coming. He said he did, but I don't think he really knew how lousy the question would be.
There's a lot of that going around.
Oh, I see. So you're not the only one with a lousy question. So that's Dad.
All right, Peter, thank you.
By the way, I just realized that's not Brian Kilmeade. There's just kind of like a placeholder. Some guy who looks like a 1970s TV detective. Thanks, Dad.
I'm Steve Doocy.
Yeah, I know you are. Yeah, so I think that settles it on all fronts, don't you? That is not only was it commonplace in the White House, it's commonplace everywhere in D.C.